How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the training. In this video, we're going to talk about your packaging, your offer. Taylor, are you there?
I'm so here, 100%.
You ready?
Yeah, man, let's dive in. This is one of my favorite pieces, by the way, of this whole thing.
Starts getting really good here. So let's break down what we are going to talk about.
Well, before we do that, let's slow down a little bit. So this is one of those things I think we need to tell a couple stories and actually give them the experience.
Yeah.
Because man, when we just stopped selling random stuff, our income just skyrocketed.
Yeah.
We actually got our packaging and what we were doing locked in. So I think this is gonna be a really good training to watch more than once. But if this is your first time going through it, make sure you got some coffee or something. And we're not gonna rush through this one. This isn't a college class. We're gonna take our time through it. Is that okay?
Yep.
Cool. You want me to handle this? Is this slide or you got it?
No, you want to talk about some stories.
Well, I mean, we're going to talk about some stories in this training, in this video.
Oh, I thought you
not necessarily right now.
Talking about story. Okay.
Do you have a story that's applicable?
No, well, I think one thing I just want to preface this with is that when you're building out your offer, it is like an ever evolving thing.
Ooh, yeah.
You perfect it as you go, but the key is having something that you can start with to take to market. And as you talk to more and more people, your marketing is going to attract the market, and you're really going to fine tune and dial in, what you're actually going to long-term be offering to the marketplace. And it's exactly what we went through. Taylor and I got together man, we think we can help people get more clients on a consistent basis. And so we didn't have it all fine-tuned and dialed in before we went to the market. It was literally within probably about a week. We wrote 4 or 5 things, kind of pillars how we could help people. And then what we did is we went immediately to get people on the phone to talk to them and listen to what they were saying that they needed, and kind of adapt our offer to fit around what they needed. And that's how we started, and that's how we see that the clients who are the most successful, they do the same thing. Okay, so yeah, go ahead.
It was actually worse than that. It was I remember our first 3 clients, we did different things for all 3 of them.
Yeah, we didn't know what we were doing.
We didn't, but the point is we knew marketing, and we were confident that we could help people in our field of expertise. We weren't teaching people how to get ripped, and we were 400 pounds eating Cheetos on the couch. That's not a great idea. You probably have some ethical issues with that. But, the point is you don't need to make this perfect before you go start selling it. And for a lot of you, you're going to start selling this before you actually have the offer. You're not going to have training put together for people. You're just going to be, our first few clients were one-on-one. We'll talk about that. Yeah. It was also really cheap. But in the last video, we talked about market, and that's this triangle on the top, your psychographic, a little bit of demographic. Later on, we're going to talk about marketing, how to find and attract those people. But in this video, we're talking about what is it that they need that you can actually effectively help them do. So you're packaging your offer. Now, a couple weeks ago, I remember Jim did a live video on this in his breakthrough with going through this training. And you'll realize that what you're doing for people in your offer isn't a box that you need to force people into. It's more of a design, it's an expertise, and you can reflect in tune and change the angle based on who you're talking to. And so keep that in mind, and we'll share some stories with you about that later as well.
It's more like wrapping a warm blanket around them.
Well,
as opposed to forcing them into your box.
A warm blanket on a cold, snowy evening.
With a cup of hot cocoa.
Currently it is 80 degrees outside, so I don't know why we're talking about this, but
I don't know. Let's talk about pitfalls.
Pitfalls. Go for it.
Yeah. Being too general in what you do for people. We talked a little bit about this on the avatar document. It's I help people get more money. Right? It's way too general, way too broad, and nobody's going to pay you for that. You know, your offer is really the bridge to their result. Okay. And so we're going to help you and kind of lay out how to sexify it, if you will, and kind of have it kind of custom branded to you, to where people really are going to want to give you money, but you just can't, you know, don't be general. Okay.
Yeah.
Rushing through and trying to just put random crap together. If you've never built or sold something like this for at least $3,000, you are going to have to watch this more than once. Okay. Just soak it in. Put in the work. Creating your package based on features, benefits, or time, right? Only the end results matter to your clients. They don't care about how many widgets and bells and whistles and all that kind of stuff. Maybe you've been told that before, but it's not the case. They care about, you know, losing that amount of money or being able to take time off to hang out with their family and their kids. And like, those are things that really matter. It's not trading time for money. Go ahead.
Yeah. And it's all about clarity here. Really. That's the thing that you want to give to your prospects and your clients. And that, you know, a lot of people will come in and they're copying what, you know, Russell Brunson is doing with his 2K programs. And they have all of these, they have this massive stack of features and benefits. And we had a client come through, this is like two months ago, or maybe 3, Julianne, and her offer was literally like 29 things. And that what works for a 2K webinar offer is not going to work for high ticket. Less is actually better, because you have to give people enough clarity that they can wrap their head around it. And all they want are the 2-3 things that are going to get them the results that they're after in their life, you know? Last one here is, before you get to the next slide, is trying to fully finish your entire package, your offer, before you start taking calls and making sales. Chris, you've done this before. How did that work out for you?
Oh my God, this is one of the worst things I've ever done. It was a major failure and part of, you know, the process of us building this for you guys, so you don't have to experience that. And maybe you have been through that before, where, you know, my story is I put together this amazing, perfected this amazing course, and the website just looked beautiful. The videos were pristine. It was edited just to like perfection. And by the time I finally took it to market, it fell flat. I wasted months and months of time and thousands of dollars in producing this stuff. And so I've had that experience, but I've also had the experience of just coming up with identifying the market's pain, building something what I think that they might, you know, tune into and say, yeah, that's me. Yeah, I want that. And then talking to people and offering to help them. And so there is a huge contrast in one that is successful and one that is not. The one that is not successful is trying to perfect everything before you actually take it to market. And so our process, what we've seen work over and over and over, not with just this program, but with our clients and other offers that we've taken to market, is that first we take it to market before we even have it built out. And so that we know that the time that we're investing is very well invested time.
Yeah.
Because we want to get a credit card. Like, that is the true mark of success, is if someone's going to give you a credit card for what you're talking about, then you can build it out, you know, after you've sold it. And so what we did too, and I don't know if we're going to get into this, but I just want to kind of throw it out here real quick, is, you know, when we first started, we just called it a beta program. And that kind of gave us permission to not have it fully, you know, fleshed out. And it was good for the prospect client, and it was good for us, you know, just knowing that we have that expectation and communication set. So don't feel like you have to have it all figured out, perfected before you go to market. That would be a major mistake.
Yeah. And here's the sales principle that we will probably get into down the road, but some people are going to come in and they're like, well, I've never sold this before. So like, how do I convince people that it's like actually going to work? Or I don't have case studies and I don't have a bunch of testimonials like you guys do. Well, like, how many of you think that we had testimonials when we first started Traffic and Funnels?
Yeah.
Like, duh, right? It sounds basic now, but listen to yourself. Like, nobody has case studies when they start. Nobody has testimonials, but we just owned it. And we just said, look, literally, you're never going to get an opportunity to work this closely with us again, ever.
Mm-hmm.
Because we're going to grow, and then we're not going to do one-on-one anymore. And then it's going to be really, even if you're in right now, you should congratulate yourself, because we raise the price on this like every 2 months. We just keep raising the price because people get better and higher results. We keep raising the price. So whatever you came in at probably the best deal that it's ever going to be. And at the beginning, we just owned it. And you got to tell people, like, our first few clients, they worked one-on-one with us. It was $3,000. Okay. They got an incredible deal.
Yeah.
So you got to own that and be comfortable with that. When you're talking to people, you have the freedom to say, this is in beta now, but nobody's ever going to get the opportunity to work one-on-one with me for this price ever again.
Yeah.
Because I'm only doing it for the first 5 clients. And then people move forward on that. And one thing to add to this, Chris, is these pitfalls. All of these pitfalls come from actual mistakes that we made in our own stuff.
Or that we've seen clients make. But I mean, like, being too general, creating packages based on features, trying to finish it fully. We've all done that, me and you personally. Yeah.
And so, like, these pitfalls, they're very costly. And again, like, I just can't speak. I wish I would have had something like this when I was getting started with high ticket, because this is good stuff. I'm not just trying to brag, but anyways, moving on. Thinking more stuff that you include in your offer makes it more valuable. Again, it doesn't. People want clarity. They want results. Oftentimes, less is actually better. Okay.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm sure we'll get to some more in a minute. But Chris, talk to us about the Rolls Royce versus the Pinto.
Ooh, that Rolls Royce is so sexy.
I think that rainbow is like what makes it pop.
Yeah.
That rainbow behind it.
Yeah. Well, this is, if you being the expert and you come to somebody, you say, hey, I've got this Rolls Royce and I can sell it to you for like $5,000. Right. What are people going to do?
What is wrong with this car?
What's wrong with that? Like, it looks great, but they're going to be questioning what's going on. Right. And that's what a lot of you are doing. Like, you're basically wrapping this Rolls Royce and they're going to think that it's a Pinto and that's a piece of crap. Right. So you have to charge for the level of your value. And it's okay to start lower when you're starting out. Like we said before, we started quote in beta and we started at 3K. Some people start higher than that. Some people start at 6K. But you have to align the value of what you're doing to, who you are and your expertise. And as Taylor likes to say, he loves asking for money.
Dude, you've arrived when you're at like quotable status with yourself.
That you quote yourself.
I'm so cool, I quote myself. This is a real actual thing. Like, people just are scared to ask for money. It goes back to the mindset stuff, but you got to learn to actually realize that, look, you getting paid for what you do and getting paid above and beyond even what your competitors are making. The more you get paid, typically a law is that the better service you're able to provide and the higher caliber, the more protection you're able to offer clients. And so you have to really associate money and asking for money with the quality and caliber of your program. There's a great chance that most people that are watching this are charging so low, they're losing business to competition. I need to say that again. They're charging so low, they're losing business to competition. Yeah. Because you're trying to sell a Rolls Royce for 5K, and people are thinking, well, they must have been like, they found it on the bottom of the ocean and restored it. So I'm going to go over here and pay 300K, like what's normal.
Yeah.
Right. Can you negotiate the price of a Rolls Royce?
No.
Wait, what were you going to say?
I was going to say, like, I just want to highlight that this is going to be some mindset work that you guys many of you are really gonna have to like dig through, what Taylor was just saying. So you're gonna have to like really put a high value on who you are as an expert.
Bro, I'm glad you interrupted me to say that. It was really good.
Sorry, go ahead.
It's a good call, bro. No, it's okay. You can interrupt me anytime you want. I quote myself.
Nobody quotes yourself better than you do.
Is that a compliment? I think that's a compliment.
That is a compliment.
If you go up to this Pinto and you say, look, I know you're asking $5K for this, but I'll give you $3,000 cash. Is that appropriate? Well, it kind of is appropriate for Pinto.
I think you're going to get ripped off, though. Because that thing looks turned.
What about a Rolls Royce, though? Like, can you negotiate the price of a Rolls Royce? No, absolutely not.
It is what it is.
So sometimes, like, service providers and even coaches and consultants will get to this place where, like, people will try to work them down on their price. Or people will get on and say, like, prove to me why I should work with you as opposed to someone else. Well, what if you go into a Rolls Royce dealership and you're like, prove to me that I should buy a Rolls Royce? They're going to be like, okay, is there anything else I can do for you? Because I'm busy. Yeah. They're going to laugh you out of the place. I'll never forget when I got my first like nice car. It was my wife's Lexus. We had a Toyota and a Honda. There's nothing wrong with the Toyota or Honda. They're great cars. But I remember negotiating the price of my Honda down. I negotiated my Honda lease down to like $240 a month. It was a 2016. Yeah. You remember that, Chris? Yeah. Dude, I walked out of there feeling like such a bad A. It's like, dude, I just destroyed their sales team. I tried to negotiate the price of the Lexus, and he was like, no. I was like, well, we just don't have the money. He's like, oh, sorry. I was like, okay, well, I'll pay a deposit. And he was like, you know what? We're about to close. We don't have any inventory, so why don't you come back tomorrow? I was like, what the freaking crap? I was all of a sudden scared. I told my wife we were getting her this car, and I was about to ruin it. Yeah. So I was about to pay them whatever they wanted, pretty much. That's the difference when you have something quality and high caliber.
Yeah, and when you have, like, you control the opportunity in your business. So, and again, like, big props for you to jump into this, what we're doing here with the ClientKit, because you're going to get that ability, as you build this out. And so, like, with the Lexus dealership or the Tesla dealership or, the
Tesla doesn't have a dealership, bro.
Okay, man, come on. Whatever, the showroom, whatever.
Gallery. It's called a gallery.
Yeah, their gallery. Like, you have that control to say, no, that's all right, and move on. Because there's a line out the door of people who want what you offer at the price that you're offering it.
Yeah, totally. Case in point, we had go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead. No, go.
I don't want to step on your thunder. If you got something going.
It's good.
We had a call one time. I just remember this because it sticks out at the beginning of our journey. And the guy that got on, I opened the call the way that I was supposed to. And he was like, I know what you're doing, but like, there's a lot of people that can do what you do. So I just kind of need you to tell me why I should listen. And I said, we're not a great fit. Hung up the phone. And it hasn't hurt us one freaking bit.
Yeah.
Like we're making it. We're doing pretty well. So you don't have to fudge on pricing. You're the Rolls Royce. Don't be the Pinto. That's an ugly color too for a car.
Yeah, it's awful.
And green. Cool. All right, let's talk about this, the commodity versus high paid expert. This is where we start getting into some of the sexy stuff.
Yeah.
You want to take this? Or do you want me to start?
Yeah, I'll start this out. Here's the deal. Like, we used to be journalists. So a journalist is someone who's kind of all things to all people. And when you're a journalist and you're all things to all people, you are at the bottom of the rung. Like, you're going to charge the least amount of money, and you're essentially going to be a commodity versus like this specialist, the expert, the go-to guy or gal who is, ahead of everybody in the marketplace. So that's why if you want to be at the top of the mountain and be able to charge the most money, then you want to be ultra specific on the problem that you solve. And that's why we harp so hard on, really knowing your avatar, your market, and dialing in your offer. Okay. Because it's going to help you really hone that and be ultra specific. Okay. Setting prices based on the pain being solved and the value of it getting fixed, that end result. Okay. And creating a custom process designed to build rapport and bond to your prospects. Right. Anything to add to that?
No, I mean, sometimes we'll attach even examples so that people can kind of see what we're talking about, because the triangle over on the side here doesn't make a lot of sense out of context. But there are 3 ways that you can sell what you do. You can sell on price, value, or results. Now, a lot of people that are coming in here are selling on value. They may not think that that's a bad thing. I'm going to show you why it's not the best. Price is your Walmart. You're selling based on like just trying to beat out the competition. And we do have some people come in and they're on Upwork and stuff like that. And it's like, yeah, you're definitely selling on price. People are going to choose to work with you because you're the cheapest.
Yeah.
That's an awful way to build your business. But when you sell on value, usually you're selling based on like your time or stuff that's included. All right. So this is what people are trying to do when they come in and like they have all these bonuses and 27 different products for the price of one. And that's value selling. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It's kind of, and a lot of times it's just fake.
Yeah. Perceived value. Yeah. Definitely. And there are good people, like good, I was talking with a great young copywriter who is getting some pretty good results, and he's still selling based on value. So he's selling based on the time it's going to put in and how many, like he's selling email funnels and how many emails are included in the package. That's okay, but specialists sell on results. It doesn't matter how much time they put into it. It doesn't matter. Nothing matters except for the result. And this is where you find the people at the very top of the market that they're not worried about what you think of how long it takes them to do their job.
Right.
At the end of the day, the only thing that they care about is being compensated for delivering the solution to a problem, results.
Yes.
And these are the neurosurgeons and the highly, highly compensated marketing consultants and the people who are, like we said in an earlier video, if you are selling to people who are about to get married how to lose weight, you better be able to deliver results if you're going to charge a high price for that. That would be an example of a specialist. You don't have any competition, and nobody's going to judge you based on the price of the person down the street. You like that?
I liked it a lot.
Anything to add?
No, let's, can we talk about the journey?
Yeah. You want to talk about it, or you want me to talk about it?
I'm going to let you take that one.
Cool. So this is a nifty little graph here of designing the perfect journey. And this is where things start getting sexy. All right. This is where you actually are going to start putting together, here's what my package or program looks like. And look, if you've already got a program, if you've already got a package or a service, then this can just help you kind of get more clarity on it. So you've got, everybody is selling to a market in pain. We talk about being pain-based all the time. So you got the person where they're stuck over on the left-hand side, and then to the right, after working with you, they're no longer stuck. And then there's this confidence meter. Okay. And the confidence meter is your client's confidence that your process or system works. Okay. So let me take you through this, the 4 or 5 barriers. This is how easy it can be to put together a great package or a great program. Is you take your clients, where are they stuck? Write that down. Where do they want to get to so where they're no longer stuck? Write that down. And then what are the 3 or 4 or 5 barriers or bottlenecks that they're trying to get through that they don't know how to get through? Okay. And then you can arrange these in the order so you can boost their confidence quickly. Okay.
Yeah.
So what I mean by the confidence meter, and Chris, you could probably weigh in here too, is like you want people to come in and their first step produces a little bit of breakthrough. So they think, oh, this actually works. I can actually do this. And they get reinvested into taking action and getting results.
Yeah. That's really good. It helps build momentum.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So let's give them an example of like maybe someone who is Dude, let's just use the example of brides trying to lose a certain amount of pounds before their wedding.
Okay.
That's a great example. So barrier 1, barrier 2, barrier 3, 4, 5, where are they stuck? Well, they may not have time to go to the gym. They don't know what to eat to make them lose weight rapidly. And they're kind of overwhelmed, and stress causes you to gain weight, and they don't know how to deal with their stress, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So an example of an offer here would be, you line up these barriers. Barrier 1, they feel like, they don't have the time. So you do a time audit with them. That's step number 1, is you help them assess and organize their time so that they can get results. And then exercise and output. So what do they need to do to decrease their stress and to do the right exercises, but not too much exercise because they don't have time, but just enough to create some results. Is this making sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then diet and intake might be the third thing. What foods do they need to eat to create, produce rapid weight loss? And then leverage. So how do they maintain that, right before the wedding with all the chaos and everything? And then barrier number 5 might be a bonus where it's like, look, you don't want to get in shape for the wedding and then become obese 6 months
Let
after.
yourself go.
So how do you sustain this for a healthy, happy, productive lifestyle, keep the pounds off, and continue living a healthy life after you're married? Well, that would be you could price this very, 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 very pricey, and people would still pay it because of how much clarity is in there.
Yeah. That's good.
Does that resonate?
Yeah. I like that.
Now, dudes, people might be coming in and they don't have an offer yet, and they're thinking, okay, well, how do I just start a group program? Well, you don't. You don't need to start a group program. Again, like we talked about before, we started one-on-one. So the first step for you is to validate. You just got to see if someone's going to pay you for it.
Yep.
And then you can help that person get results one-on-one, get them some results. Then you add a group element. So eventually you're going to max out your time. We're just talking with an upper echelon mastermind client. His name was Anthony the other day. And he's like, I'm maxed out. My business is broken. I'm spending too much time. I was like, okay, well, what's going on? We made almost 40 grand last month, has 15 clients, and he's running 90-0 1-to-1. Well, it's time for him to add a group element so that he can remove himself and get leverage in his process, right? Yeah. And then you scale. So you can see we're almost taking you guys to the exact same model that we're teaching you to build your offer.
Yeah, and it really, that process, man, it's amazing how it builds the confidence for the next stage. And you tackle it in small incremental bites, right? Once you do that, then you're like, yeah, I know I can tackle this next thing. I've validated my offer. So now I can really start building out and taking more one-on-one clients. And once you get to that point, you're getting clients results. Now you have 10 people, 15 people who you're working with. Like, okay, now I know that I can take this to the group setting. And for us, like, we're at a place where we have uber confidence. Like, we know without a shadow of a doubt that we can get all of our clients success if they follow this process at scale. So now, we're at the place where we're looking at going out and buying other businesses and adding other arms to our company because we've perfected this process. And so that's why we put you guys through the exact same thing, and why it's so important that you tackle it in sequential order.
Yeah. And not forget, to do the things that we've even talked about in prior videos. One of the big things is, like, just because you get to barrier 4 or 5 doesn't mean you stop dealing with the barriers prior. You got to keep, everything builds on top of everything else.
What should I charge?
Cool. Yeah. What should you charge, bro?
Dude, wasn't your first offer like $25 for like 3 sales letters and 25 emails?
Guys, if you ever get discouraged, ask Chris and I about some of the problems that we faced in business. I love talking about it because, dude, we have been through the crap so many times, I don't think people ask enough, but if you guys are interested, you should just start asking and we'll tell you. But yeah, my first offer in business was $400. And it was for like 8 landing pages, 8 VSL, or 4 landing pages, 4 VSLs, 8 emails, interviewing the guy's clients. I mean, it was for so much. And I wrote it out and I did everything and he didn't even use it because it wasn't even good enough. And he didn't ask for a refund because I legitimately think he was just like, oh, it's $400. It's not, didn't even mess with him, you know?
Yeah.
Our first TF offer, Chris, what was your first offer? It was probably free, knowing you.
Probably was. Oh man.
You don't remember?
I don't. I have to think about it. I feel like it was, I mean, I think it was getting someone ranked like 25 keywords for like $700.
Oh, on SEO.
Yeah, SEO. Which is like
Yeah.
a pain in the ass.
Yeah. Like, guys, we started at the bottom. And we worked out to what we are doing now. I think our first TF offer, this was in September, and September of 2015, and we were like, no, this is August of 2015. We're like, dude, I think we can do this. Here's what we need to do. Let's try to sell it. We had an email list of 125 people. It was massive email list. And like 50 of those people were like our family members.
Taylor's
and
mom.
My mom opted in like 50 times. And we sent an email out. We got some people on the phone and talked to them and asked people what they needed. And one guy was a photographer and he needed an Infusionsoft funnel. Oh, great. Well, guess what? We're launching this new thing where we build Infusionsoft funnels and it's $3K. Okay, we built that. And the next person was like, well, I really need help like building my copywriting offer. Great. We just launched a brand new program helping people build their copywriting programs. It's $3K. And then the other person like just needed help. What do you remember? Oh, it was Danielle. She needed help building her webinar. And so we're like, great. We actually just started helping people with their webinars.
Funny you say that because we can help people do that.
We just didn't know what people needed. So we sold 3 different packages, $3,000 a piece. They were all different. And I remember feeling like I called Chris as soon as I did the calls because I did the calls back then. And Chris, do you remember where you were?
I'm pretty sure I was at Starbucks.
So you were at Starbucks. I was at home. We were about to go on a road trip because we were going to a wedding. And I remember calling Chris. I was like, dude, we just made money out of thin air. Like, we're freaking magicians, man. We made $9,000. It's like nothing.
Yeah.
And do you remember that feeling though?
Oh man, there was like so many emotions that came. It was confidence. It was like a sense of freedom. It was like a sigh of relief. It was man, we can do this. Like, what's the next thing? Like, what's the next move? I think for me, there was like so many of those emotions. You know, how do we build on top of this? Because that is like the ultimate validation. You know, like we've said before, is getting someone to have just enough belief in you that you can help them, that they're going to give you a credit card.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
definitely.
that's the key. It's like, I think so many people that come through, they struggle initially with just that overthinking, you know, of having that perfect offer. And we're like, yeah, dude, we can help you do a webinar. Oh, we can help you build an Infusionsoft funnel, or we can help you do whatever. And as we got money, you know, that afforded us the opportunity and the ability to keep building. And it was kind of like fuel in the tank. You know, it kept us going. That's why it's so important for you to go out and start getting those wins as quick as possible before you get all crazy and build out webinars and landing pages and all that kind of stuff. Because that's not going to serve you in the best way initially.
Right. It took us about 50 calls before we really had our offer nailed down to where we were able to say, okay, like, this is what you need. We don't really do that. We were 50 calls in before we had clarity and we finalized our offer.
Yeah.
Up to that point, we were kind of tuning it based on where people were. And
but we were still making money in that process.
Yeah. We, at that point, we had made 40, 50 grand, you know? Yeah. And I think it's important for people to realize too, like, there was also a little bit of a feeling of dread after we enrolled those first few clients, because like, it was like, okay, well, what do we do now? And I was like, I don't know. We didn't have any homework. We didn't have any videos. And so before we went on the road trip, I just crafted up a quick welcome letter and like made just something up and sent it to them. And so it's okay for you to figure this out as you go.
Mm-hmm.
You know, this was one-on-one. It wasn't group. We didn't do any one-on-one. And but from there, you know, about, I think it was 3 or 4 months in, we added a group call, but we still did one-on-one on top of that. And then from there, we added some training pieces and we stopped doing traditional one-on-one. And, you know, it was about 6 months before we got to the place where we weren't doing a lot of one-on-one anymore, and we were getting a really good track record and we could scale. So you can make a lot of money really quickly, but the process of building out a good, healthy business that, you don't have to always manage or worry about, it's going to take you some time, and that's okay.
Yep.
And we've raised our prices. We've tested all the way up to 15K. We have programs that sell for 40K. And we really sell this program for what we feel is the best investment that repels the losers and gets the A players in and gets them terrific results. Because remember, we're talking about what should people charge.
Yeah. So congrats to you. It means you're not a loser if you're here.
Yeah, exactly. You're not a loser. So all that to say, test this, you know, at the low end of what you feel comfortable with. So if you're like, oh, this is worth 5K, then sell it at 5K, you know, or 4,800 or whatever. Don't just come through and be like in your deepest heart of hearts, you're like, I can't see myself charging more than 2K, but you try to sell it for 6K to make us happy.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Like, because pricing and being able to sell something is really more probably about what you feel comfortable with and what you feel it's worth than anything else.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah, Chris, you can just take them through the rest of this.
Yeah, I think that is a big key, is testing at the lower end of what you feel comfortable with, and just building that momentum of confidence. Because, you know, once you have that and you've gone out and you've maybe charged a few, it could be for you, it could be $3,000 or it could be $6,000, but whatever it is for you, to start getting those wins and building that confidence, it's going to be huge to propel you for longevity. Okay. So start at the lower end, get some wins, get some results, then double that and take it to market. So that's what we do. You know, we started at $3,000, then we raised it to 55, then we raised it again. And we just stretch the market and test it and see how it responds. And then as we get more and more and more results and our clients are just killing it, it's like, geez, man, we should charge like $100,000 for this, you know, because it's really changing people's lives in a very short amount of time. Okay. So here's a super sexy hack, ninja trick here. You know, take what your price point is and add 100 to it. So for example, if you're thinking, you know, maybe I should charge 4,000, charge 4,800, you know, cause it's, you know, there's like some neuro stuff there and like marketing strategery. But we've seen that work really well. Anything to add to that?
Strategery. This is like
do you like that?
That was great. I learned a lot from you saying what you just said.
Yeah. Yeah. But at the end of the day, don't overthink it. Like, this should not be something that you're like getting on the Q&A and asking, you know, over and over. Like, come up with something, talk to people, throw it out there. Tell the story of when you're like, you know, you were kind of overwhelmed and you kind of just stumbled on to like someone paying you like a lot of money for it.
Yeah, so this is back in my when I was writing copy, and this is before we knew each other at this point, but we weren't working together. And I was charging, at that point I had gotten past my $400 jobs, and I had built up the nerve to ask for like $2,500 per job. I was still doing a lot of work for this. The most I had made in a month was, I think, like $9,000, and I had done so much work for that $9,000. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
And I got booked up. I got like 2 or 3 clients back to back in a week, and I got a referral from someone who wanted me to build a funnel for him. And I was like thinking to myself, I don't I don't really want to do this because I'm too busy. And I could see myself just getting overwhelmed. So I was like, you know what? Instead of charging 2,500, I'm going to charge them 5K. And then I wrote out the proposal and I was like, dude, this is a lot of work. I'm going to do 10K because there's no way. I could see him maybe buying at 5K if he's desperate, but there's no way he'll buy at 10K. So just put the price on there. That way I don't have to do the work. And 30 minutes after I sent that email and had a conversation with him, he had basically sent me 10 grand to do the project. And I was like, whoa, that's amazing. And then the next day I had another person come through. I did the exact same thing. 10 grand. He bought it. 2 back to back at 10K. So here I am. The most I've ever made in the month is 9. And in 2 days I made 20.
Yeah.
And I remember calling Lindsay and being like, babe, we'll never have to struggle for money again. We can go vacation anytime we want. We're freaking rich. Not really. We weren't really rich, but it felt like that. And I was just like, this is like, I've been undercutting the value of my services and literally repelling my best clients because they're saying 2,500. Like, what's wrong with what? He must be a beginner. He must not be that good. You know, why is it so cheap? And that's something that we deal with in our clients all the time. You got to understand, like, pricing, if it's too low, it's just as bad as you just trying to go out and charge 500 grand. Right? So both are bad.
Yeah. It's a really, really good point. And you're probably going to struggle with this to some degree, but just push it out there and see what they'll take. You'll be shocked.
And don't laugh when you say your pricing.
Yeah.
That's half the battle.
That's true. All right, your package. What should it accomplish?
You want me to tell
this?
Yeah. So it should take your avatar. It should help them go from stuck to unstuck. And really the goal of this is to give them the life, the money, the feelings, the security, whatever that they desperately want or need in as short a time frame and as least amount of steps as possible. Okay. And I can just hear people saying, well, it's easy for copywriters because they actually make people money. So it's easy for them to sell their stuff because there's a monetary ROI. No. A health ROI is even more powerful most times than a money ROI. You get on the phone with somebody and they're afraid their spouse is going to leave them because they can't get their shit together. That's a very powerful ROI.
Yep.
Don't fall into the trap of thinking the ROI is only monetary return on investment. There's emotional return on investment. There's security return on investment. There's peace of mind. And then there's money as well. And most of the time, money, people think it's the most powerful, but it's not.
Yeah. That's good, man.
Did I skip anything?
No. I like that. Big pitfalls. So a lot of times, and this is tempting, everyone wants to talk about their offer. Yeah, but it's about the prospect. Okay. What you're doing is not the offer. The offer is the results that they're going to get, right? The story that they want to see themselves living. Okay. That is the offer. That's the result that they want. Features, price, etc. is not the offer. Yeah. How many videos, what does the back office look like? Like, how many documents do I get? PDFs? How many sessions do I get? How much time am I going to get to talk to you? Like, that does not matter. That is not your offer. What they will learn does not matter. Hopefully you're getting this because we're saying it a lot. The results in the byproduct they'll have from working together with you, that is the offer. And again, like you said, usually most of the time, less is more.
Yeah, usually most of the time. It's like a double, just for double emphasis. And sometimes, people will ask you, they'll ask, like, how many videos are in this, or like, how much time do I get with you? And then you as the expert, you have to have the ability and the authority to say, what do you mean? And they'll be like, well, how many HD videos do I get? And you gotta be like, I don't even know. I mean, honestly, like, how many videos doesn't really actually matter. I would rather you have less content, but more results than more content and less results. You know,
Yeah.
you have to be able to control that. So don't talk about what's inside your program or service. Now, I'm not saying that if someone's like, well, how does it work? You shouldn't be like, don't ask me that. I'm not going to tell you. That's what I'm saying. But like what I'm saying is you don't want to go on and on and on and on and on and drone on about you and yourself. Yeah. You want to talk about the prospect and the client. Don't deep dive into all the features and benefits. Don't deviate from the script. In theory, you want to use your personality, so don't read the script like a robot. But the script is your outline for the goal. So here it is, like, this is a case in point. You want to lose 40 pounds in the next, I meant to say 30 days, but I said 30 months there. It's a long time. That's the best offer I've ever seen. It's like 1 pound a month. Because you're overweight, your kids don't respect you, you have no friends because you're health. And okay, cool. Yeah, that's basically what I do. Let me know if you would like to hear more about how that happens. And then your offer is systematically showing them, here's barrier 1, we tackle that. Here's barrier 2, we tackle that. Here's barrier 3, we tackle that. And the offer is the results. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So how do you create this? Well, first of all, you want to work backwards. So find out where your clients want to get to, and then find out where they're stuck, and kind of draw that up. Go through the 4 to 5 core steps or barriers that you need to take people through to get them results. So really quick caveat, Chris, is about service providers.
Yeah.
Because their offers are a little bit different.
Yeah, so it'll be a little bit more custom than what this is. So, you'll use this to kind of loosely structure. You can still hit like the end results and, really the thing that they want to accomplish. But it's not going to be, as tight, if you will, or specific, as like a consultant or coach, because some service customers might just need a little bit of a tweak here and there.
Yeah.
Same principles apply though.
Definitely. Cool. All right. So at this point, you guys have what you need to go through your offer and packaging validation worksheet. All right. This is the same stuff applies for this as the avatar worksheet. You might have to let it simmer just a bit and come back to it. But this is where you're going to put together your offer. And then from there, you really want to start getting your organic stuff out, which is in the next set or group of videos. And you've got some momentum at this point. You're doing the right things. You've got clarity on your offer. You're about to get some serious clarity on what you're doing for people. And you want to continue that, leverage that, keep it going. Don't let it, die here. Yes. I was looking for a nicer word, but I couldn't find one.
Just say it like it is. Yep. Yeah. Keep the momentum going. Jump into that next video, and we will see you there.
Awesome. See you.